What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Mopar Man here. This video is going to cover my after racking my brain and searching the internet high and low and in the bowels of the internet, whatever. I finally found the answer to the 7 1/4 rear end axle seal situation. So let me show you what I did. Okay. So in the previous videos, I rambled on about after taking this socket here. I think it was like 1.5 or something like that. But anyway, I went ahead, took that painter's tape, wrapped one complete layer around, test fitted it in the axle or the rear end housing where the seal goes, and then that wasn't quite tight enough, and I put one more layer on there and test fitted and got snug, and I had to pull these out with a pair of pliers. But anyway, took this measurement, took the axle shaft with me to C&M Gear Works in Springfield, Missouri, and they sent me home with these, guaranteeing these would work. Of course, I talked to a guy, I don't remember if he's that experienced behind the counter or whatnot, or maybe they're just busy, it didn't really take the extra time to make sure. Anyway, compared them to, they used a digital caliper and swore up and down these would work, which the sleeve, the inner sleeve, the lip works and it's snug like it's supposed to be, but this little curve here that faces towards the inside, and then this slight little edge right here, and the top half is just, I don't know, it was like somewhere between 3 and 6 thousandths of an inch too tall, too wide, whatever you want to say it. So, like I said, searched the bowels of the internet looking for the seals, and then I can't remember if it was like something came to me like subconsciously, or I remember hearing somebody mention something. It's like, try a different brand of vehicle, like a Chevy or Ford or Buick or AMC or even a tractor seal or something. So I started searching around. I started typing in the exact specs I was looking for on the internet, and I was coming up to a lot of dead ends. Stuff was either the housing on the seals was too wide or too narrow, and one I came across was the correct lip again, but the housing wasn't quite the correct width and whatnot. And so and it's all due to based, like, I'll give you an example. These auto parts stores, the way they categorize stuff, the way they inventory their stuff, the numbers, the part numbers, has gotten really screwed up over the years. I'll give you an example. If you want to go buy a mini starter for your older Mopar, if you get one for, like, say a 94 or 96 Dodge Dakota with a V6 in it, as long as you got a core, you can get that mini starter for like 60, 70 bucks, somewhere there, give or take, depending on the brand and where you buy it and whatnot. Okay, now if you were to go and buy the exact same starter but for a 96 Dodge Ram with the 318 Magnum or 360 Magnum, you're going to be charged 120 some or more dollars just for that exact same starter, all because the part number's different, even though it fits the same transmissions. Anyway, that's one example. Years ago, when my alternator went bad on my 65 Dart, and you all know that it requires a one field wire, took it in there, and I made the mistake of not bringing the old alternator with me. And that's one reason I call them O'Reillys, is because they'll either tell me the part's obsolete, and I go, oh, really? Or they'll go, this is how much it's going to cost, and I'm like, oh, really? Anyway, they swore up and down. They looked in their system, and they said, for my 1965 Dart, and they presented this new alternator, 2 pulleys with the, all built into one on the front of the alternator, and 2 field wires. They said, I said, that's not what my alternator looks like. They said, well, that's what the system's calling for. So anyway, Took it home. I knew it wouldn't fit, but it wouldn't work, so I tried it. Still wouldn't work, so I brought it back. And this time I brought the original alternator with me. I said, because the guy almost started getting pissy with me. And I said, look, this is the alternator that came off the car. This is the one that needs to go back on it, but I need a new one. So they did some searching and come to find out because of their IT department, whatever, their inventory department, they're saying it's not available. I said, well, you need to check because this alternator works on a variety of other A-body cars from the early to mid to late 60s. So they went and searched, and sure enough, like, I think an alternator for like a 1960 Chrysler Imperial with a slant 6 or some crap like that, and their system worked, and they brought it out, one field wire alternator. And I said, you guys need to get that fixed in your system because a lot of these other cars that have slant 6s use the one field wire. But anyway, hi Beetlejuice. We got our black and white male cat coming back in the yard. But anyway, so long story short, don't always just stop there. Make sure you dig deep further. Try different avenues. Try different model makes, stuff like that. So that's what I did. I finally come up, and here's what I got. Found out from the specs online. This is precision, but you can get them in standard. I just don't know. I can't remember what the number is for standard. I'll look that up, and I'll post that in the descriptions. This is part number 9569S. It says replaces NAT and then the pound sign, which is not the hashtag like we know it today, 9569S. Then it's got J2022, if that matters or what. But anyway, got these at O'Reilly's, because at O'Reilly's, when you look up 1965 Dodge Dart or 1965 Plymouth Valiant with a 170 slant 6 and a 7 1/4 rear end, they try to give you these, or they try to give you the ones for the early 70s that have the much wider axles, the inner dimensions axles housing. Anyway, or they'll just tell you that's not available. They don't make them anymore. Anyway, so guess what this fits? Found out, especially through Rock Auto, I looked up the specs. 1965 Ford Falcon with the Ford 9-inch rear end. Same specs as the lip, the inner lip. And this morning we're going to check because it's supposed to be just a little bit shorter on the outside of the housing than this. And the only difference between this bearing, or not, I shouldn't say bearing, seal, sorry. Got ahead of myself. And the original, the ones that they gave me is, I think, 1 or 2 hairs difference in the actual width of the shell casing itself. So that's not much difference. So we're going to go over here. Give me a minute to get down here on the ground. Okay, we're down here on the ground. And the lip always goes to the inside. And of course, you know, I'm holding the camera or my cell phone. And then this has to be pressed in. You can't just try to push it in there with your fingers. But see, it's all needs to be tapped in there all the way, and it fits. So that's the cure. The Ford 8-inch, because I looked on Rock Auto, they offer 3 different seals for the 65 Ford Falcon, and the one was a Ford 8-inch, Ford 8-inch plus, or it said and 9-inch, and then the other one I think went back to an 8-inch, or not just a 9-inch or something. But I looked at the specs. The one on Rock Auto that says 1965 Ford Falcon, I can't remember which it gives you like 3 different or four or five different vehicles to choose from, or variations of the Falcon. One was like a station wagon, one was something else. I had to go through each one of them and look at the specs, and I'll post that in the description too as well. But yeah, these will press right in and go where they're supposed to go. And so that is the cure. And then once I get these done, which I'm not off until Monday and Tuesday. So Monday and Tuesday we're not supposed to get any rain again. Thank goodness. I'll get these pressed in, and then we're going to start working on how I'm going to go about tackling the front pinion seal without taking the whole rear end apart and putting it back to the same specs that it's currently in, without interfering with the tolerances in there as it is right now. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to, yeah, never mind. I already updated you on the other video. So until next time.